All right, so let's go ahead and get started on a pretty heavy prep. For some reason, I shifted gears last night on all different kind of dates and kept roaming around until I landed on PT 109 or January 9th. And a 9 is an upside down 6, and we all know what took place on January 6th. And believe it or not, that's the one date I didn't key in, and that took place in 2001. If we look at that, it is 1464. Let me tell you what's extraordinary about that. Trump's number is 6 times 14 times 1946, 163, 464. Wow. I also did not run the eclipses. I meant to do that. And it's 276, 9 months, 1 day, 2 day, 1 9. Well, that's interesting. They love that. It's 276 or 2 Atom. The other eclipse was in 2017. And the one that made the X across America was on 8/21, 2698. And we know about it's 88 months. It's 385 in the week. So it's murder. It's got Trump's number in there. In the minutes, it's 388, which is both. But that 698, 2698, think about that, 2698. And it's a perfect 2,700 on the would-be rising day on January 11th. Remember, the transfer portal date was on January 10th in 2022. That was the Dr. Pepper transfer portal commercials all over the. So there's your 109, 1095 from the transfer portal at time. We discovered that that date was an exact overlay of October 1988. The days matching the dates, and it was an exact overlay. It was the exact calendar. And in Donnie Darko on the 10th was when they started talking about portals. And we started running backwards and forwards from that date, and it was landing on so many different things. So hopefully you've been with me a while and you know about that. And that's what the transfer portal is about in college football, or the Dr. Pepper transfer portal commercial that was running at that time. So that's extraordinary. And you also have 2 years, 11 months, 30 days. So there's your 11-3 code, which 11-3 is opposite 311, which on a calendar is opposite 9/11. All right, so let's get on with the prep. And it's extensive. And when they re-released iPet Goat, it's 48 weeks, 3 days. 48 is Trump. And one of the base ciphers, I believe, reverse ordinal. Or excuse me, 48 is Donald Trump. And it's 48 and 3 days. So that's 483. And 83 is murder in one of the base ciphers. It's 339 days. So you have 33 coded. Back to the Future on July 3rd, 1985, released 2, When He Would Rise. It's 144:37. And remember, 144 is the biblical number for the church. We would be living in the book of Revelation in real time on the day he rises. Or on the day of the event. But So you see the 144, and it's followed by the number 37, and 37 is the 12th prime number, and 12 is number for the church. So 37, we've always told you, is the prime number for the church, and it goes into 666, 999, 111, 222, every one of them, 777. Well, if it goes into 111, then it automatically goes into the rest, doesn't it? Yes. So it's 144, 37. So it's the number for the church and the prime number for the church, or the end times number for the church, or Book of Revelations number for the church, and then the prime number for the church. That's fascinating. That's a big deal. You do a quick volume check one more time. Okay. So when we run to, I don't know why this is up there. Hang on just a quick second. All right. Well, anyway, October 2nd, 2020, when he had the illness, it's 37,440 in the hours. It's 222 weeks and 6 days. And y'all know my number, 82362 divides evenly by 37 with that 2226. And the 37,440 hours, 440 is Antichrist in the Jewish gematria, and there's your 37 with it. And I see things like that as bigger deals than maybe y'all would. Anyway, the iPet Goat initial release at the Heliofont YouTube channel does give you 12 years, 6 months, 6 days, 12 number for the church, 6 in the 6 book, 66 is Book of Revelation code. It's the 66th book of the Bible. And when you put it on the rising day of the 11th, it turns into 12 years, 6 months, 8 days. So 68 then is Antichrist in one of the base ciphers, I believe, reverse ordinal. Personal code, sorry. So the January 6th we just went over, January 6th. And there's a lot here, so let's just keep going. The 2698 from the first X across America total solar eclipse. Remember, on Groundhog Day 2009, it's 332 days left in the year times 2009. You got 666, and it ends in 88, which is Trump. And there's the 98th, which is 98th verse in the Bible, is your white horse crowning verse. And there's your 698 that fuses it all together. So it's interesting to see that 2698. Now, there was also a total solar eclipse on the exact midpoint of the two total solar eclipses on 12/14, and that comes to 148.7. 148 is Donald J. Trump in simple gematria. So even better, on the rising day, it turns into 148.9. 148 is Donald J. Trump in simple gematria, but notice the 89 that it's fused with. 89 is Donald Trump, excuse me. Donald Trump and Donald J. Trump both have the 89 in the Jewish gematria, which is the most biblical. 589 in the Jewish gematria for Donald Trump, 1189 for Donald J. Trump in the Jewish Hebrew gematria. 357 in the hours. 357 represents Book of Daniel. 212 weeks, 5 days. Not going to get in all that. We all know the area code of 212, and 12 is number for the church. 110-2020, oh, transfer portal hits on our perfect PT 109. And think about the JFK movie PT 109, right? PT 109. That's giving you the date of January 9th, isn't it? That's a big deal. So apparently, Anybody born on 11/17/1959, I may know them or not, but that is 11/17. The person I know may or may not have the exact same name as one of the stars of all the James Bond movies, or one of the co-stars of all the James Bond movies. And there's 79 in the days for Murder in Simple Gematria. Again, their birthday is 11/17. And 399, which is murder in the Jewish gematria, is in the weeks. So 79 in the days, 399 in the weeks. That is the exact same code that you have for when Israel was founded. So we're now going to run that date to when Israel was founded. That person to when Israel was founded. And there's your 4204. 138 in the months, 3 days. 138 is Donald Trump and Simple Gematria fused with the 3, so it's your 1383. 38 is murder. 83 is murder. And the base ciphers, 38 is also death. And one of the base ciphers, the 420, is that total solar eclipse. I don't know. There's a lot to that. 11 years and 6 months is also there for the backwards upside down 9/11. That's just tremendous. There's so much going on there. 10/26/1985, when they first went 88 miles per hour, it's 38 years, which is murder and death. 2 months, 14 days. The 214th verse of Revelation is the first time deadly wound is mentioned. Deadly wound, but did live. And when you put that then to the rising day, it turns into 38 years, 2 months, 16 days. 216 is 6 times 6 times 6. And James Bond's car tag because of that. (10:30) 1988, when Frank got shot in the right eye in the movie Donnie Darko. It is a perfect 1888 weeks and 4 days. But look at the days. 13220. So you have 322 fused with 13. That's their gigantic in numbers. And then on the rising day, it turns into 13222. You have 222, you have 322, and you have 13. Still have the 888 in the weeks. Excuse me. 1888, which is 18 and 88. 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6, which is why Alabama always has the 18 on their helmet on ESPN when they put the helmets out. It's always the number 18. (5/16/2022) was a total lunar eclipse. To the 86ing day is 969. But better, 138 weeks, 3 days. There's your 138 for Donald Trump and Simple Gematria fused with 83. You got 83 murder. You got 38 murder. You got 38 death. All of it. But that perfect 969 also. On the rising day, it's 2 years, 7 months, 26 days. 726 is Antichrist in English gematria, which is 6 times the English ordinal or simple gematria. In English gematria, A is 6, B is 12, C is 18. These are just gigantic ciphers. The total solar of 2021, it's 1134 days. It's 216 in the hours, 27,216. Oh, I know what it was. It's 1134 in the days. That's 11/3. 11/3 is when One World Trade Tower opened. on 11/3, which is opposite 3/11. We know what they did on 3/11 in 2020, and 3/11 is opposite 9/11 on a circular calendar. If you run it to the 86ing day and include both dates from that total solar, you get your 11/33. So you get your 11/3, Revelation 13/3, you get your 33, you get it all. That is mind-blowing right there. You get every bit of it. Revelation 13/3 is the first time deadly wound, but did live is mentioned. Every time deadly wound is mentioned in Revelation, all three times, but did live, or deadly wound was healed, or whatever, is because he seemingly has returned from the dead. That'll be at the abomination of desolation. So yeah. And yes, yeah. Just something I wanted to look at there real quick. And just bear with me. 86. So 86. I know y'all don't know what that date is. Doesn't matter. Let's move on. So on the total lunar eclipse of 11/8/2022 to our 86ing day, you have 79 in the day, 793. On the rising day, it'd be 795. But there's your 1132 in the weeks and days. So it's 113 weeks, which represents, and it is the same on the rising. 795 in a day, 79 is murder and simple gematria, but 113 weeks, 4 days. So there's your 113 again on the rising day from that total lunar eclipse. That's gigantic. That's such a big deal to have that. The flower full moon that IPEC Goat gave us when Obama's eyes got real big, it's 88 weeks, and it's 148.08 in the hours, 148 Donald J. Trump, simple gematria, 888 begins the minutes. 1 year, 8 months, 6 days for 186. But the key thing about this flower full moon in 2023 that came from the total solar eclipse of 4/20, 2023. A new moon is a total solar eclipse. And that was Lily and IPEC Goat. When she dropped the apple and it rolled across the floor, and then it turned into the flower, and that was the flower full moon. This flower full moon to his rising day, which is what it represented because it was a lotus flower, it's the perfect 617 days. The 113th prime number is 617. That's why OJ's Bronco chase was on 617, because it was AC in the white Bronco driving the car. This is AC. I've got OJ in the car. He was in the white Bronco. He's in the white horse. If I'm not mistaken, so it's a perfect 617 days, which is the 113th prime number. And remember, 11/3 and 3/11. So there's different things we need to look at real quick. I did not look at 3/11. I don't think. It's 1767, 4 years, 10 months, 252. Be 165 on the 86ing day, 408, 4 years, 8 days. Excuse me, 4 years, 9 months, 29 days, or yeah. Anyway, 76 is Adam, Strong's Concordance. If we look at the 313 to the 86ing day, the Zapruder film 313, it's when Mr. Big put everybody on the LOCKDOWN. It's 1763. Okay. Anyway, we also have to look at oh, what was it in 2020, 2021? Hang on, I lost my train of thought. So there was a TV show called Strange Angel that was released on Trump's birthday, 2018. It was all about L. Ron Hubbard and the other guy invented the rocket and how they communed with Aleister Crowley, who was all about the Babylon workings and all of that kind of stuff. On to the rising day, Strange Angel, when Trump would become that strange angel because Satan possesses his body. It is a perfect 404 days, if you include both dates, which can always do that. You can include both dates or not. It's what they do in all their predictive programming. It's 2404, 2404. 404 is the amount of verses of the book of Revelation. It's heavy book of Revelation code. That's a big deal. All right. So when Sirius the Dog Star rose, it was also the midpoint of 2 total solars, 251 days in both directions, and 2 total lunar eclipses, 88 days in both directions. All that took place on August 12th, 2022. It was the most unique situation I'd ever seen in my life. If you run that to our January 9th target date, it's 88 days. 881 days. 88 is Trump in simple gematria. It's 21,144 hours. 144 represents church. If you run it to the rising day, nothing else really sticks out. And anyway, let's keep going. Y'all remember when I documented when the paper airplane flew into my right eye? That's a very long story. It's way back in my videos, but we've always documented that as 12/17/2021. And it is a 1119 days on day 19 on this PT 109, which we are going to look at here in a little bit. 119 is Donald, means world ruler. It's also got, it's fused with 111, which is the rising day. Big deals. The other one that I documented was when my right eye was bloodied right above my right eye. It's 989 days to the 86ing day, 991 days on the rising day. (3/11/2022) was the anomaly. It's a perfect 148 weeks. If y'all remember the mathematical anomaly, where anybody born May 1st, 1985, they turned Trump and I's combined number. The first 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number, they turned that many days old. 33 days later, I turned the next 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number. And there is a 322 in the middle of that. And then 33 days after that was a total lunar eclipse. So we knew we were on to something. So we've always documented 3/11/2022. And it is 1036 days. I think when we do the 1036 divided by 37, yeah, it's a perfect 37 progression. It's 2837 progressions. So it's a direct hit. Oh, that's a direct hit on the day after the event. So you would have to include both dates for it to be a direct hit on the day of the event. But still, that's gigantic. If we run when I turned the next 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number, and just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, my number is 82362. When you times 7 times 6 times 1961, Trump's number is 163464. Anybody born May 1st, 1985 turned 13463 days old on 311. 33 days later, I then turned 22196 days old. Notice 1968 is in there. That's RFK, MLK events with Skull and Bones 322 dead center. But what do you have in there? You do have the 19. You have the 19 sandwiched in between 322 and 68. 68 is Antichrist, one of the base ciphers, and 322 is Skull and Bones. So I turned, so from that date when I turned, the next 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number on 4/13, 2022, it is that Donnie Darko date. It's 1002 days. It's 1002 days. 404 in the middle of the hours, 2:4048. 144 begins the minutes. And then I think we've already done the 33 days after that. A total lunar eclipse. Yeah, the 969 on 19. 138 weeks in 3 days. We already went over that. So my birth to the event, it divides evenly, I think, 20 by 37. Is it 23199 that divides evenly by 37? It's yeah. If you include both dates, my birthday to the event, it's 23,199, which is 627 progressions of 37. Remember, the 627, 127 was rotating in and out of that mathematical anomaly. Of anybody born, I forgot to fix that one. Remember the 627, 127 that rotated, excuse me, from 2007 all the way to 2022. And then it switched to 628, 128 for the next 16 years. That goes on to infinity, where anybody that has a 28 in their date product combination, like October 28th, which would be 10 times 28, or January 28th, which would be 1 times 28, or February 14th, which would be 2 times 14, which gives you the 28. Born in the year 1973, any 28 combination, along with any 42 combination, mine happens to be 7 times 6, 1961. When you multiply those out, for an example, 1028, 1973, multiplied out 10 times 28 times 90, the number is 55244. My number is 82362. And when you multiply it by each year, you get this mathematical anomaly, which goes into infinity. I've done it. It goes back centuries. Upwards and backwards. It is a tremendous mathematical anomaly. And if you run it, so 5.5244 times my number 82362 times Trump's number of 1940, I'm sorry, Trump's year 1946. Remember, you have 88 Trump on both ends as bookends. Fascinating. So that's a very special anomaly that we look at. We always use that. Now, if you take my birthday, run it to the 86ing day, it's 23,198 without including both dates. 98th verse of Revelation is the white horse crowning verse. And it also has the 19 in it, obviously, for January 9th. if you run my birthday to the rising day, it's a perfect 23,200. 232 is Satan in, hang on just a quick second and I will show you. I will be a perfect 232,00 days old. 232 is Satan. In the Jewish Hebrew gematria, which is the most biblical. That's how crazy mind-blowing that is. I'll be 232,00 days old. If you include both dates, 23,201 for event 201, 63 years old, 6 months, 6 days. 66 again is Book of Revelation. And there's your event 201 right there. There's the strange angel. Let's move on to the next. So I did January 9th and seeing what all January 9th comes to. Well, in the Jewish gematria, which is the most biblical, because that's what gives us the number of the man, SIX, 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 or spelling out 666 comes to Donald John Drumpf, the exact spelling of his previous surname of the family bloodline. The Drumpf was then changed to Trump. They said on your Google searches around the 1600s, which fulfills the other Bible prophecy that the Antichrist will be here in his own name, like Jesus said he would be here in his own name. I come in my Father's name and ye receive me not, but if another what? Christ, Antichrist? If another comes in his own name, him you will receive. A trump is a horn, and a horn is a trump, and the horn was the Antichrist in the book of Daniel. So in the Hebrew Jewish gematria, the one website calls it, no, I'm sorry, in the simple gematria, January 9th in the simple gematria, where A is 1, Z is 26, comes to coronavirus. Comes to coronavirus. January 9th comes to coronavirus. It also comes to 313, which is in the Zapruder film. Frame 313 is the headshot. So 313 is an exact match for January 9th. Is that why it was always frame 313? Which is the backwards Revelation 13:3. First time deadly wound is mentioned. Also comes to Roku channel. In April 13, which was that anomaly I was telling you about in 2022. January 9th, by the way, 686 in the searches. 68 Antichrist, 86 means to eliminate. There it is. January 11th, the rising day, look at the searches. 1611, which is an upside down 911. 611. Also comes to angel and a whirlwind. Do you not think an angel rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm? 10/21/21 was the Alec Baldwin date. It's a perfect 168 weeks. It's also 1176. Got Revelation 11:7, beast rising from the pit, fused with Adam. We know he is the Black Adam. If you include both dates, it's 3 years, 2 months, 20 days. It is a 38 months death and murder. When you run it to the rising day, it turns into 1178. And again with the 11:7, Revelation 11:7. So the Alec Baldwin date gives you Revelation 11:7 right there in the days, followed by the number 8. 168 in the weeks. Again, 68 is Antichrist. It's 38 months. Still 322 with 3 years, 2 months, 21 days. So much coded in the Alec Baldwin FAKESTAGED movie set incident. 9/11/2001. It gives us 79 in the months. 79 is murder in simple gematria. There's a lot more to that, but I'm not going to get into it. The total solar eclipse in 2001 to the 8016 day is 86,003 days. To the rising day, it gives you 23 years, 6 months, 21 days. So there's your 621 from the 621 eclipse. Remember, 2001: A Space Odyssey opened up with an eclipse. It was a total solar eclipse. So the movie was called 2001. So the 2001 total solar eclipse happens to have landed on the summer solstice. When you run it to the rising day, it is 621, the date of the eclipse. 23 years, 6 months, 21 days, 621. And again, it begins with 86 to eliminate, to kill, to get rid of. It's 8603 on the 8016 day from that total solar in 2001. Sorry, personal cipher there. Let's see if this is relevant. It is relevant. Again, with the 79 in the days, this is the third time we've seen 79 in the days and 399 in the weeks. It was the person born 11/17, 1959. It was the Jewish Israel date. And it's anybody born 3/19, 1998, because 3 times 19 times 1998 gives us our most fascinating number we've ever seen, ever had. It begins with 11/3, which represents One World Trade Towers rising. It's its opening date, 11/3, which is opposite 3/11. We know what 3/11 was all about in 2020 because it was opposite 9/11 on a circular calendar. And 9/11, so September was once the 7th month, was really about 7/11, and most countries write the date backwards, so it was really about 11/7. Revelation 11/7 is the beast rising from the pit. So they have the rising coded on their first 3 digits. Digits 2, 3, 4 is 138, Donald Trump in simple gematria. 88, digits 4 and 5, 88 is Trump in simple gematria. Dead center is 38, which is death in simple gematria, and it's murder in one of the other 4 base ciphers, and their number ends in an 86. So it's the 88 getting 86 at the back side, and the front side, it's his rising. If I happen to know somebody born on that date, and I told you they were born at 8:08 a.m., 88, 8:08 a.m., 88, would that fascinate you? And if their first name, middle initial, and last name came to 148 in civil gematria, which so does Donald J. Trump, would that also fascinate you? So this person's ciphers are the most fascinating to me. And they've got 79 in the days and 399 in the weeks. 399 is murder in Jewish gematria. 79 is murder in simple gematria. And what I want to do now is run that date to Israel, since Israel also does that, and to the other person that we saw that connected to Israel doing that. Not much. Not much. And I'm going to run them to our 1959. The other person that also has 79 and 399, because Israel does to our date, our January 9th date. The founding of Israel has a 79 murder on the murder day, 79 in the days, and 399 in the weeks. And so does our 1117 person. Has 79 murder in the days, 399 in the weeks. And there it is, the 14002. It's a perfect 2000 weeks, 2 days. The 2 is heavily coded there. I am not going to get into what that's about, but it's 38 years. Anyway, just fascinating. You'll just have to forgive me. So I'm not going to get into it. But let's go over all three, just so you know what I'm talking about here. When we run Israel, and the person born on 11/17, and the founding of Israel, 1948, on May 14th, Israel has 79 in the days, 399 in the weeks. 399 is murder in, hang on. When you check the volume, you see how in the Hebrew, murder is 399 and it's 79 in the simple, where A is 1, Z is 26. 79 and 399. All three have this. Israel, to our murder date, has murder 79 in the days and murder 399 in the weeks. Our 11/17, 1959 person for Zechariah 11/17 Bible verse, 11 times 17 is 187, and the 187th prime number is 11/17. This is all very unique stuff. There's your 79 in the days, 23,795, and there's your 399 in the weeks, 3,399. Israel's was 27,999. Israel's was 3,999 in 6 days. It was the very last day that it could have that. We also remember that Trump's number, it's the very last day you can have 86 in his days old. 28699 days old. So it's the last day you can have 86, 79, and 399 is on January 9th. And then our other person born 3/19/98 has 79 in the days, 399 in the weeks, 9,793 in the days, 1,399 weeks. So it's 1,399. And by the way, our person born 11/17, 1959, their number is 3663333. Remember, 36 is Adam in, is it Jewish gematria? Yeah. Yeah. Then you have your 66 representing Revelation, and then 333. So that's very unique stuff, isn't it? That's very unique stuff. Let's keep going with a prep. We'll get to PT 109 in a minute. Batman begins to the day Batman would begin on 1/9. 7,148 perfect days. 148 is Donald J. Trump and Simple Gematria. You have 1021 weeks. That's 121 Antichrist in the weeks. And that's why the Alec Baldwin incident was on 1021, October 21st. Again, how many weeks from Batman Begins? 1021 weeks, or October 21st weeks, or the Alec Baldwin date. But remember, 121, drop the zero. They never count zeros, neither does our Lord. 121 is Antichrist and Simple Gematria. My goodness gracious. The Batman movie of 2022 to the 86ing day. It's a perfect 148 weeks and 6 days. So it's a 148, which is Donald J. Trump and Simple Gematria fused with 86 to eliminate or get rid of. 148 weeks, 6 days, 1486. If you run it to the rising day, it's 1044. Drop the zero. It's 144. Number for the church, because you're now living in the book of Revelation in real time, which is all about the Lord cleansing his bride. There's your Antichrist is 440, 121, 726, all of that, 49. There's your murder, which is 399. So I already had that pulled up. 212, 90. Oh, Groundhog Day. 2 our rising day, or the 86ing day, but it begins with 116, which is a backwards, upside down 9/11 that they gave us in Back to the Future. We've shown you that many times. But that's what it is in the days. 79 is in the hours. 38 is in the months. But Groundhog Day's release date of 1993 has your 11/6 coded. Sorry, I had to check my cell phone. So yeah, the Groundhog Day. Anyway, it's perfect. Begins with 11/6. Backwards, upside down 9/11, which they love to do. PT 109. Nope. Sorry, that's not what it is. I was reading. Yeah. That's a personal cipher. Not going to get into that. PT 109. That's giving you the date of January 9th, isn't it? Sure is. The film, now get this, was released June 19th, or that Juneteenth date, 1963. When you run that to our 19 date, you do get the 86, 22,486. Well, 22, the 22nd prime number is 79, which is murder and Simple Gematria. But if you include both dates, there's the 86. And 48 is Donald Trump. And one of the base ciphers, I might as well show you all that. Check volume, but there it is, 48. Donald Trump, 48 in reduction. Okay. So PT 109 on June 19th, 1963 gives you 22, 48, and 48 being 86th. We just showed you 48 is Donald Trump in reduction, one of the base ciphers. So there's a lot going on there. To the rising day, 22, 4, 88. 88 is Trump, Simple Gematria. There's the 48, which is Donald Trump. You got it all. The months, by the way, this whole time are 738. Death and murder. On the summer solstice, if I happen to know somebody born 6/21/63, they have the exact opposite to the murder date, 6 months, 19 days, which is the release of the PT 109. They have 22,483 in their days. So just adjusted by 2. But this one, we're not including both dates. So it's 48, Donald Trump, and 83 again is murder. And 22, we already told you about. 22nd prime number is 79, which is murder in simple gematria. Remember, District 22 was on the bus in The Dark Knight. The movie No Time to Die, to his rising day, 117 weeks. That's 11-7 for Revelation 11-7. No Time to Die because he's rising. So it's 117 weeks, 6 days. So it's 1176, which we showed you that earlier on something else that we had looked at, but that is it's also 2 years, 3 months, 3 days. But it's the last day that you can have 117 in the weeks. And that October 8th release date of No Time to Die, October, octagon, octopus. October was once the 8th month. It's on October 8th, 88. October 8th, 88. When you run Trump to the PT 109 release date, 621 is in the days. So there's that whole 621 thing again, but the summer solstice date. But you also have it's 6,214. 214 is the 214th verse of Revelation, is Revelation 13:3. What else? That's it. Let's keep going. Wednesday's episode. If you run Wednesday release to the 86ing day, it's 1 weeks, 1 day. So that's coding the rising day on January 11th or 111. If you include both dates, though, you do get your 779. 79 again is murder in simple gematria. There's a whole lot of other stuff going on there. If you run it to the eve of the event on the Wednesday or the eve before the event, because she is female, she could represent Eve in their world. It is a 777 days. 2 years, 1 month, 16 days. So 2, the backwards upside down 9/11. I don't know. A lot going on there. Barbie and Oppenheimer release date of 7/21/2023 gives us that perfect death murder code 38. It's 538 days on the murder date. 76 weeks, 6 days. So it's 76 fused with 66, which is Adam in Strong's Concordance 76 fused with 66. Revelation. 66th book of the Bible. Our last batch of prep, or are we done? We are done. That was a long prep. So I appreciate you hanging in there for it. That was a lot. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs up if you watched the whole thing. Comment if you watched the whole thing. The AI holds back my channel like it's nobody's business. So whether anybody watches these, how would I know? AI could comment on my channel. You wouldn't know that it's AI commenting on my channel. I always hope that anybody commenting is a real person. I treat them like a real person. But if you read the comments, just trust me. There's no telling if it's AI or not. I don't look that deeply into it. I just treat them all like their people. But I don't know if anybody sees my videos other than those that might be tracking me from Facebook, as one of my channels is the one I put on Facebook. All the World's a Stage with Donnie Darko's right eye wound as the thumbnail. That's it. Don't forget that this time frame that we're talking about is in between a new moon that begins Eastern Standard Time, which is his time zone and my time zone. Trump's mom's middle name was Anne, A-N-N-E. My mom's middle name was Anne, A-N-N-E. My mom was born in Aurora, Illinois. We know about the Aurora, Colorado incident with the Dark Knight, or was it the Dark Knight Rises? One of them. And we know about Trump's penthouse having the portraits of Apollo in a chariot being driven by Aurora or something like that, or vice versa. Apollo, Aurora, Trump penthouse, Donald Trump's Manhattan apartment. So they might not be giving it to me. There it is, a painting of Apollo in his chariot. So Apollo in his chariot being carried by Aurora. Apollo driving the chariot of the sun god, Apollo, whatever. You get the idea. There it is right there, chariot of Aurora. So it's Aurora and heralded by Apollo. There it is right there, Amazon. Chariot of Aurora. Aurora is shown in her chariot, accompanied by the hours, and heralded by Apollo. Time is shown on the right also. So Apollo in chariot with Aurora. And my mom was born in Aurora, Illinois. And Trump's got that Aurora in his penthouse. And Aurora is also in, I believe, the Dark Knight in one of the buildings. The Aurora is really big on one of the buildings, I think in Shanghai, unless that's also James Bond. I can't remember. But the new moon on December 30th is 1726. And the full moon from the new moon, it gives us a full moon that sprouts on January 13th, and it's also at 7:26 p.m. The new moon and the full moon are at 7:26 p.m., both of them. The new moon in Capricorn, the full moon in Cancer. 7:26 is Antichrist in English gematria, which is 6 times simple gematria or English ordinal. Where Antichrist is 7:26 is where A is 6, B is 12, C is 18. It's at 1726 p.m., both the new moon and the full moon. So it's coding Antichrist dead center. So 4 days in one direction and 11 days in the other, I think. But that's just mind-blowing. All right. Love you.